sports all plays. Yeah. All sports all plays. All sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Got quite a bit to talk about today. Big NBA Finals game last night. Celtics pull out a big win. Now all the pressure's on Golden State here in Game 4 to try to steal a victory in Boston. I'm joined today by Deontay Kelly. How you doing, Deontay?
I'm good. How are you?
Not doing too bad. What'd you think about this game last night?
Oh, I think it was shocking how the game return events was, but two, I think Boston played some great defense. I think they came in there nice. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown in the first half was phenomenal. He went berserk. He started off and Jason Tatum ended it. He started getting his groove back in the second half. But really, what they've been doing is they attacking the basket. They're playing that pick and roll. They're switching Stephen Curry, and they're just attacking. They're like they have no interior force. And they're just succeeding. Then they're doing the kickouts. But the big thing was Marcus Smart had 24, Al Horford had 11, and Robin Williams had 8. So that helped very much. And Derek White was doing his little thing. Grant Williams was defending. Like they had people that was helping it all around, and that's what they needed.
Yeah. I think the Warriors were dribbling the ball too much.
I can see that. I can agree. I think they
especially in the half court. You get in that half court against that Celtics defense. The more you just dribble the ball around, that's better. They can get more set up, play more physical against you. When if you get the ball down the court, get the ball moving, and get right into your offense.
But I think what Boston was planning on doing, Boston's plan honestly was, hey, we're going to sit here. We're going to try to control the pace because they don't want to play Golden State game, transition threes. Stephen Curry just raining threes from everywhere. Klay Thompson raining threes everywhere. So they're like, we're just going to play our game. And how our game is, we're going to play half court. We're going to slow it down. And Al Horford and I think Al Horford and Williams realized finally that they're bigger than almost everybody besides Kevon Looney. They don't have a big guy, and they was out there. I like what they were doing. I think now they should play a lot more pick and roll and throw the lob to Rob Williams because they don't have a defender to block it. Same thing with Al Horford. Al Horford's going to the post. He's realizing Stephen Curry switched up on him. He's too small. They're going to bring the double, kick it out to Grant Williams, which is an excellent shooter from the corner. You have Derek White. He is attacking Stephen Curry to the basket, getting and ones. You have Boston collectively, as a team, Boston is playing in Golden State. Honestly, Steph Curry looks tired. Steph Curry had 15 points in the third quarter. It seemed like Klay Thompson finally showed up, but those were the only two. And Wiggins had a silent 18 out. It was 18. I believe that was meaningless. But Steph Curry and Klay, it's not like how it was back in the day where they were the only, if only those guys just need to show. Draymond Green has to defend and play better 2 points and sit. He had 2 points and fouled out. He had more fouls than points. That's a problem. And I was looking at one stat. Draymond Green is 26% from the field, and he has 15 points total the whole series. Draymond Green has not been having a good series. In 2 out of 3 games that Boston's won was Draymond Green played a terrible matchup. But Steph Curry's tired. He rolled his ankle, I seen in the third quarter. He's tired. And the fourth quarter. He's tired. I believe he's not the only one that can do it. And he believes I need more help. Klay came with the 25. And he's like, we still need more help. Jordan Poole got to show up because Jordan Poole played bad yesterday. I think Steve Kerr needs to go more deep in their bench because I could tell Steph Curry, Wiggins, Klay, and Draymond are tired. They haven't played in the June game. This is Wiggins' first. They haven't played in the game minute. I think you should play Kuminga and Moody and get them more feel into the game, get some more energy boost. Kuminga can be aggressive, draw some foul, put some ball in the hoop. Same thing as Moody. And I believe they just need to play their guys a little bit more and just don't stick with it 6 or 7 man roster because Boston is going in their bench and they're playing hard.
Yeah, and if nobody else shows up to help Steph out, this isn't going to be a very long series. Steph's been playing his ass off, and
Yeah, he's been
they're kind of
15.
the Warriors are. I mean, they're kind of lucky they're only down 2-1.
Yeah, he's putting on his back. 15. He scored 15 points in the third quarter, and he brought them back in the game. But Boston, one thing I like about Boston, every time they wanted to run and Steph wanted to run, they made an answer, and they sat down and defended. And Steph Curry can't be the only one. Steph Curry's been doing this thing. I hope this shows everybody. Like, I understand he went 1 for 4 in the fourth quarter, but you guys got to realize he went 15 to 30. He's tired. He's the only guy. I think he's running out of energy. Steph Curry's been having a phenomenal finals. I hope everybody can see that. He's having a phenomenal finals, and he's balling out. It's the best finals he played in his career. And this is the one time he does not have any help, and he needs Draymond. Honestly, if Draymond can just get 8 points and stay in the game, Golden State.
Yeah, Draymond didn't play very well at all yesterday. That really hurt the Warriors.
I don't think he's been playing well all series. I guess game 2, he brought a tone and aggression, but I don't think the whole series he's been bad.
But last night I just thought his defense wasn't very good, especially with the standard you expect Draymond to play defense at.
Yeah, he played awful. That was the worst game I've seen him play in a long time. That was awful.
I think the Celtics came out with more energy at the beginning of the game as well.
They set the tone. They were more physical.
Being back at home, you expect that, but I'm still gonna say Warriors win this next game and go back 2-2 like we were talking about on Tuesday. I said Warriors in 6. To me now it's looking more maybe like Warriors in 7, but I'm gonna stay with my Warriors in 6. But
one thing about that is,
I'll tell you what, Warriors can't lose. You don't want to lose this next game there in Boston because, like we said the other day, either team goes down 3-1. I feel like the series is pretty much over.
But this is the thing, how I think. Honestly, Boston, Jason Tatum has not even had a signature Jason Tatum game yet. That's the scary part. Jason Tatum can go get you 35. And Jaylen Brown, he had his best game. And Jaylen Brown's probably, in my opinion, Jaylen Brown is MVP of the finals right now. Because he's been, besides game 2, he's been very solid. He's been their best scorer. But
I'd agree with you. I'd put Brown as the MVP right now over Tatum.
Clay's not going to get another 25 like that again. I personally think Jordan Poole has been inconsistent very much. Only person that's been consistent in the playoffs for Golden State is Steph Curry. And Steph Curry's tired and he's a little banged up with that ankle. His ankle's always been a problem. So they're going to have to carry the load. And Jordan Poole, they got Jordan Poole and he can ISO and he can do everything like Steph can do, but not as good. But you're at Boston and some of Boston's role players, I'll say like Peyton Pritchard haven't had his best game yet. Grant Williams can still get you a good 15. He can still get you 15. Derek White, like I said, I think Derek White's going to get another. I think Al Horford's going to have another explosive game. Al Horford's going to go for a 20-10 game. Marcus Smart is probably going to have I think they're going to do more, and they feel how the game go. And if they see whoever has a hot hand, but honestly, we haven't seen the best Jason Tatum yet. And when we see that Jason Tatum, and I think it's going to come out sooner or later. And I think it's going to come out in this game because they're going to be at Boston. It's 2-1. And Jason Tatum is going to try to close it out. And I think they're going to win 2 at Boston. They're going to go back to Golden State. Golden State going to win their 1, and Boston's going to win at home.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Golden State can win at Boston.
Let's see. Yuki, thoughts on PJ? We'll talk. I was going to talk about that here in just a little bit. And he said, how bad is Steph's injury? That's going to be a factor that I didn't even mention earlier. How bad is that injury?
But his ankle, like before even it started, his ankle he had a problem with his ankle his whole career.
Oh,
so that's one thing. So he touched it and he got it a little bit, and that ankle's going to hurt. I don't care how long you think his ankle is going to hurt. And honestly, I think it's going to be a wrap. Steph Curry has to they need somebody else besides Steph Curry. Steph Curry cannot be the only option for them to win this whole finals. So somebody else going to have to step up.
Jordan Poole. They need Jordan Poole to start playing more like he's been playing, and not like he's been playing in the finals. They need him to step back up. I think he's going. I'll tell you somebody that's been an X factor in the series that I don't think people talk about enough is Derek White.
And Derek White is
And
playing
not just in the
great.
finals, the whole playoffs, dude. He's been like a spark plug for the Celtics when he's in there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Derek White's been playing great.
I don't think he gets. I don't think he's been getting the respect he deserves for the way he's been playing in the playoffs. He's been, to me, kind of, especially like last night. He was kind of X factor there early in that game.
Yeah, because he was Derek White. If people been watching the game, he's been the guy attacking Stephen Curry. He's around with Stephen Curry also, but he's been attacking the basket. He's playing great basketball. He's playing good basketball for him. Derek White has been solid, and I think he's a big X factor too. Derek White is becoming that X factor that everybody talking about Golden State needs. They need that another option. Derek White is becoming a good option for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I personally, I think what the Warriors need to do, they need other guys to step up. Don't get me wrong, but they have to speed the pace of the game back up. The slower the pace of the game's played at favors Boston.
Oh yeah, because
have to get that pace back up to their speed for them to have. I think that way the role players will have some more success. I think in the half court, you slow down, you're playing right into Boston's game if you slow the pace of the game down.
But how Boston's controlling the narrative, and they're going to slow the game down regardless. Boston, how their game is, they're going to slow it down due to the fact they got the big men, and they can't. It's hard for Golden State to score in the interior. Like, it's hard for them right now. Boston, Williams and Horford's not letting nobody go through interior scoring. So understand their shots they're always gonna hit their shots, but they have to shoot from the outside and perimeter most of the time, and that's the biggest problem. Obviously, Golden State having, but Boston as a team wise, their numbers is going pretty good altogether. You have Jason Tatum, he had 26, Al Horford had 11, Raul Williams had 8, Jaylen Brown had 27, Smart had 24, Derek White has 7, and Grant Williams had 10, and Payne Pritchard had 3. So they're spreading the ball, and their bench and their role player supporting cast is showing up with them. Marcus Smart having that 24 points is huge. And I believe like him or Al Horford is going to have another one of them games where they get at least 20. And most of the time in the playoffs, if you see Marcus Smart get 20, yeah, Boston's winning that game.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly all they need.
Yeah, I know Boston's going to slow it down. I'm just saying, like, when the Warriors have the ball, they got to try to speed the pace up any chance they get. If you can get out and run, you got to try to run. You can't play this at a slow pace yourself. You know what I mean? Bring that ball up, get the ball up the court as quick as you can. Try to speed it up when you have chances to, because Boston is going to slow it down. So you got to do everything you can to try to speed the pace up a little bit to be able to play at a pace you're more comfortable at.
I don't know. Boston's making it very uncomfortable. It's hard for them to score. Like, literally, they're making it very hard to score. I think that pace, like Boston, they're playing on their own pace. Like, it seemed like Boston, they have an answer for everything Golden State wants to do. I think game 2 was just a bad turn of events. They turned the ball over. But I think Golden State's realizing Boston, how you're going to beat Boston is Boston's going to beat themselves. You're not going to just beat them straight up. Boston's going to have to, they really lose the ball because they turn the ball over and they forget the game plan. And here's another thing. We got to give a big shout out to Ime Udoka, because Ime Udoka is out coaching Steve Kerr. I personally believe how the matchups, the switches, how everything's going, how he's moving the ball, how he has Tatum and Brown dominating, how he had Al Horford and Rob Williams pick up Steph Curry instead of playing in the paint. They had him pick up Steph Curry because Rob Williams and Al Horford can switch their feet, and had him play up front, so it's going to be hard for him to shoot a 3. He's making it very uncomfortable for the Warriors to score. They look very uncomfortable.
Yeah, they did. They did. Oh, I forgot that was on. Yeah, they looked, especially last night, they looked uncomfortable.
Like, that's why I was super shocked on how uncomfortable they were. I wasn't shocked about the outcome. I was shocked about how the outcome was. It seemed like Golden State, they got bullied the whole game. And usually Draymond Green's the one doing the bullying, but I think Boston ignored Draymond, and they bullied everybody else. And everybody else is not the physicality type.
Yeah. What do you? What are your? What's your prediction for Game 4? What do you think is going to happen? What that's on
I
Friday,
think it's gonna.
right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think Golden State's gonna respond better, but I think Boston's also gonna respond better. Like I said, Jason Tatum hasn't had his game that he just went berserk. Al Horford, I believe Al Horford and Marcus Smart gonna have another big game. Jalen Brown's gonna show up. He always shows up in Boston. You got Peyton Pritchard. I think Peyton Pritchard's gonna play better. Grant Williams gonna have 15-point game where he's doing great stout defensively. They're gonna switch it out, and I still think Boston's gonna pull out with a win. And Boston's gonna win a series.
I think Warriors are going to come back, win Game 4, and get a split like Boston did on their home court, and then you got the best 2 out of 3. And I hope this series goes 7 because these games have been fun to watch.
I love it. I wish it would go 7, but I don't know. Boston, they brought a new type of energy because at first I didn't think like in the finals it was like they were still like, wow, we're in the finals. We're in Golden State. We're in the best dynasty ever. I think that's how they play. I think Boston played, honestly, at Golden State like, hey, we just stole a game. We stole the game. So we do what we were supposed to. Now we can go back to Boston. And I think Boston's going to play their best. Their role players play better. Besides Derek Williams, Grant Williams played better at Boston. He did. Marcus Smart played better at Boston. Al Horford, besides Game 2, Al Horford, the 2 out of 3 games they played, Al Horford's been very solid. Grant Williams, he's been very solid. He's on a 50% knee. And I honestly think, like, they're just going to get better and better. Peyton Pritchard's going to play better. I think Jason Tatum's going to play better. Jalen Brown's going to maintain that same level of play. And I think Boston's going to pull it off. Klay Thompson is – when Klay Thompson get 25 right now, and Klay Thompson, I believe still he's not like how he was because he's coming back in the middle of the season. Now he's in the finals. He's just – like when he got injured, it was in the final. So I think he's still getting his legs back. He hasn't played in 2 years. So when you see Klay Thompson getting 25 points and Curry has in the 20s, I think you should very much take advantage of that. And Golden State didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think Golden State's others are going to play a little better this game. I think that was first game in Boston. You get a feel of the atmosphere now. I think the Warriors will come out with a little more energy. I didn't think the Warriors came out with enough energy last night at all, especially trying to match what the energy Boston came out with. Boston came out at home fired up, which you expected them to, especially being there in Boston with the history there. And the first time there's been a finals game there since I think it was 2010. So you knew that crowd was going to be raucous last night. And they'll be raucous again tomorrow night, but I think the younger Warriors players know what to expect. I look for the Warriors to play better and still won in Boston.
Yeah, they rocking up in Boston.
Oh, man. That place was rocking. I turned over and watched a little bit of the pregame show and was like, damn, that place is already loud.
That's it. But that environment in Boston, that finals in the Garden, it's a different type of place because, that's a championship pedigree area. Like Boston is championship or bust. So when you're rocking at the Garden, it's going to be nice. It was like, I think that home court advantage, Boston's crowd is like how it is in Golden State in the West. Like when you go down to Golden State, remember Oracle? Like remember when you used to go to Oracle and like nobody wanted to play in Oracle?
Yeah, some people say the Warriors lost a little bit of their home court advantage when they left Oracle because Oracle was so loud and the new place is loud, but not as loud as Oracle.
Yeah, I think they should say Oracle. Oracle had the place rocking. Like that was the best home court advantage in basketball. And people don't realize home court. That's why I say stuff about the bubble because home court means a lot.
Yep, that's what I was trying to say about the bubble as well. Home court means a lot. Damian says Boston in 7. Yuki says Boston in 6. I'm still going to stick with my original prediction just because I don't like to change my prediction. But if I changed it, I'd move it to Warriors to 7. But I had Warriors in 6 from the start. But I don't see Warriors winning 3 games in a row. So I don't see that happen.
I don't either.
I don't see 3 in a row. But I do think the Warriors are going to bounce back in Game 4 and pick up a win. And this series is going to go 2-2. And then it's going to be best 2 out of 3 with 2 of them in Golden State. It'd be interesting.
No cap. I hope it's like that though.
But another thing I've been seeing in the NBA: should the NBA shorten the season? it's been a big topic that's been going around here the last few days. What do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I honestly think it's the NBA. Like they've been playing 82 games for many years. I think the rise of AAU. Honestly, if you want me to bring up why basketball players get hurt, and why basketball players are so tired, I think nowadays, back in the day, like because when you was a child, AAU was not as big as it was.
Nope.
Can we agree to that?
Oh yeah.
AAU now?
Even back when I was a kid, in the 80s, AAU wasn't near as big.
Y'all
as
was still high school. Y'all can get scholarship out of high school basketball, like great scholarships. Like y'all go to y'all high school. So there's probably athletes that never played AAU. That was an NBA back in the day. Now you're playing AAU. You play these games 24/7. You're playing basketball nonstop, and you don't give your body a break. You're still developing your game. As a pro, you become more skilled. But the con is also you're going to be tired. And by the NBA, you see some of these people have injury problems, like the John Morant. You have people that it's hard for them to stay healthy and injury prone. Like for example, Anthony Davis, a lot of them players, like a lot of them people, they grew up playing AAU ball, and people don't realize from the start when your body's gonna wear and tear when you get older. And I think the start of AAU and how games are like 24/7, you're playing 4 or 5 games. Like if you're in a tournament or if
playing 4 or 5 games a day.
You're playing 4 or 5 games a day, and you're playing like 20 games to hold.
Yeah, my buddy, he has a son that's a high recruit here in Indiana, and they've been playing AAU for years. And it's like every weekend they're at tournaments, playing Saturday and Sunday, playing 4 or 5 games a day. And your body, you only have so many years of athletic prime, and the earlier you start, that's years you're taking off the back end of your career.
And people's not thinking about. They're thinking about AAU. I'm not gonna lie, AAU brings a lot of revenue.
We're talking about should we shorten the NBA season, which is 82 games. These kids in AAU are playing 82 games. They're playing way over that. They're playing way over. They're playing
over 100 games a year.
Yeah. So
cut down AAU. I think you should have play at least 50 games a year in AAU, and then in basketball, when NBA comes, they'll be fully recovered.
And then you got a lot of them AAU guys that play all that AAU. They take the break from AAU, play high school ball. But then when soon as high school ball's over, it's right back to AAU. So you never have an off time where your body can fully recuperate.
Because we're at the point now that recruiting is 24/7. Back then it was recruiting period. Now it is 24/7. College recruits are looking any way to get this player. So AAU, and now I think honestly we're at a time now. Football, it's prep academies. They don't really look at the public schools for real like they used to. And the basketball, they're looking at AAU for college scouts. You don't see people really talk about their high school tapes. You're looking at most of people's AAU tapes. You're not looking at high school tapes anymore. So the 20, 30 games that you played in high school, then the rest of the time you developed your game is not the same anymore. It's AAU. Like I have no problem with AAU. I think AAU is great for the sport of basketball. I think it gives the kids more skill. You learn more skill, but I think you should tone the game down a little. Like change it. Like at least play 50 games a year. Make it worth your while instead of playing all these tournaments.
Yeah, I don't think the NBA will shorten because the players have to lose a little bit of money, and the players
that's under agree too. Like the NBA player, you think. If you got for them, if they change it from 82 to 60 games, you think you're not gonna lose quite a good money? Like you're not gonna get paid more off of each game. They're gonna lose money due to the fact that we're playing lesser games and it's not fair.
So it also affects your TV deal.
That's 100. Yeah, it affects a lot. Your TV deal, everything. Like they're talking about shortening the season. Like I understand your guys is wear and tear, but you guys got to think about wear and tear. I hear a lot of people talk about the NBA's wear and tear 82 games is a lot, but they've been playing 82 games for. I can see them do that in the playoffs. Like people in the playoffs, they get like a bye week out, like play in. Like they'll have I think how the NBA should do it if they do that. The first seed, the number 1 seed. Should get a play in. The 1 and 2 seeds should get a play. You should get the bye week. Should have a bye week have a whole series that they don't play yet, and the play-in team play the tournament. Play a series, best of 5 or best of 7.
Yeah.
And so people will compete for the number 1 seed. 1 and 2, you get that energy from not playing.
Yeah.
And plus they're trying to do everything now. I see they're trying to do everything now to rest the players. They don't really do back-to-backs anymore. They don't really like in the playoffs now. Instead of like, remember back then they used to play like 1 or 2 games like in the series, and they play out everyone. Now they play 3 games. Like after the series over, they have like a little break, 3 or 4 days break, and then the series start. Like they're trying everything. I think.
Yeah, they even tried to shorten like their travel schedule, not having them go, like travel far from like one series to another, trying to shorten that a little bit.
Yes, they don't like a lot of teams in the East. They only play at California teams twice, and it's like one, like they go there once and we go there once. So they're like trying to do stuff, and like NBA, they're thinking because they're looking at people like they're looking at the Kyrie Irvings, the Joel Embiid's, Kawhi Leonard's, the guys. Well, Kawhi Leonard and Joel Embiid heavily because they practice load management, and that load management is something, and they're going to bring injuries. So they're like, are we going to shorten the season? But my question is, when you shorten the season, I'm pretty sure they're still going to do the same thing. They're going to play. There's going to be from NBA players out of 82 games, they play 60, like 65, 66 games. From they play like only 30 or 40. We're just going to get to that. And you're going to lose more numbers due to the fact that you don't have all them games played and the star players are not playing. The biggest problem in NBA right now is some of the star players, the Kawhi Leonards of the world, the Kyrie Irvings, they don't play as like load management.
Yeah, and that sucks for fans, especially kids.
Yes, because
whose parents work their ass off to get their kids tickets so their kid can see their favorite player, and then you get there and the kid's favorite player ain't playing.
That's how I feel. Is like when I look at stuff like that, you're like the injury report. I can imagine you buy a ticket to see Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's your all-time favorite player, and then before you could even like 2 or 3 days, like 8 hours before tip off, they say Kawhi Leonard's out due to rest. Not because of the injury, because of rest, the load management. That hurts. That hurts my feelings, and I'm wasting a ticket, honestly, because I get Paul George, but if you're going to see Kawhi Leonard, you're going to go see Kawhi Leonard. That's why I respect the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, because even they all said, like, he was like, I try to play as many games as I can, because imagine growing up. It was like imagine these kids come out here to watch like this. Oh, this is my first time. Dad probably LeBron and Kobe. I remember watching
kids. It might be their only chance to go.
I'll watch an interview on Kobe. Kobe was like, Dad probably worked 2 or 3 years to get these tickets, and he is like, Kobe. And there's like Kobe Bryant's injured. Kobe. He was like, I'm gonna show kids that it's people that they paid their money that I'm gonna play. And it's like this is probably the only time they'll ever see me, and I'm gonna give them the first time I'm gonna give them a show. Yeah, that's how the LeBron James thing with the Michael Jordans to Kobe. That's why they will play. Players now, they won't play due to the fact of injury and load management, but now they're those type players that they want to give their money's worth and they want to play. And it's not everybody in NBA that doesn't want to hoop, doesn't want to play basketball. Kevin Durant wants to just play basketball, and the stars still want to play basketball, but there's also other stars that ruined it that is not in love with basketball as much as everybody else. And they don't think basketball is just their primary sport. It's other things. Basketball can be secondary, and it sucks for them because now the new deals, I believe now with the CBA coming out this year, I think the NBA now has more leverage than the players.
Oh yeah, and they're going to try to be putting stuff in contracts to stop some of the stuff that's been going on in the NBA.
Yeah, I honestly think like literally the NBA players, they used to have all the leverage at first because the players like the LeBron James in the world, Kevin Durant, you had the Steph Currys, they all were playing, and they all had like one thing I love about LeBron and Kevin Durant now, all they want to do is play basketball. Kevin Durant, he's sensitive, but you could tell Kevin Durant, all he wants to do is play basketball.
Yeah.
That's why he be frustrated with the media and stuff, because he's like, I just want to hoop. Same thing with LeBron James. He just wants to play basketball. There's players like, I don't know Kyrie Irving's mind. I can't speak for him as a human being, but it seems like how people look at it. People look at him like he doesn't care about basketball. He don't think basketball is the number one thing because he would just leave out of nowhere. He doesn't love basketball. He just knows he's good at it. Same thing with James Harden. People believe James Harden. They're like, oh, he doesn't love the sport of basketball. James Harden just knows he's very good at it.
And loves the things that comes along with it.
Yeah. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. They think dudes like that, they just love what comes with basketball. They don't love the game of basketball.
They like the lifestyle and stuff that comes along with
like
it.
LeBron James, Kevin Durant, all of them dudes, they love basketball. Like they be in the gym for hours developing their game. Yeah. The other dudes, you could tell they look. You could tell with some of the players. That's the only thing that sucks. Like some of these, like I'll say out of the top 10 in the NBA, top 15, I'll say I think like 8 of them just want to play basketball. The rest just love what basketball comes with.
And the bad thing is, a few of the people doing the wrong thing to run it for everybody else.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's how it is with life. My parents always talking about. Even when you're a child, you learn. Not everybody can be doing it, but a few people can ruin it for everybody.
Yep.
And I think that's what happened. Now the NBA is going to bring up these examples, and they're like, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this with the contract. If you don't play more than probably 65 games, we're going to take a deduction, something like that, because they're making 200, 300 million. They're making more money than every sport in America. So they're going to do that, and they're going to put stipulations in everything. They're going to probably change the super max and max deal, and they're probably going to change a few things. And honestly, until the next CBA, the NBA got to deal with it because they knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Because what they're going to do without the Chris Pauls and LeBron, because Chris Paul and LeBron James, those players, the players that impacted like the league, that made the league bigger and better, like Michael Jordan, he skyrocketed the league and made it international, and then dudes that maintain it, they're all retiring. LeBron, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, a lot of their big stars are getting older.
Steph Curry's 34. It's just Steph Curry's 34. Steph Curry,
with his ankles, who knows how late in his career he'll get to go.
Nobody knows how the best players that people grew up loving and watching is gone, and now some of these new players are looking at some of these players like the Kawhi. They're looking at the Kawhi Leonard, the Kyrie Irvings, because they're a little bit younger than LeBron, like and Kevin Durant and all of them. So they're looking at them boys, and they're like, "Whoa, management." That's why and they're looking to do like Joey. That's why I respect the dudes like the Luka Doncic's of the world. You have dudes that out here that just wants to play basketball. I love the players, the Trae Youngs of the world, just Ja Morant. Like, there's dudes out here that legit, they don't care. They just love to play basketball. They still got those. I just don't believe. He says LeBron don't love basketball. He loves to be in the spotlight in Hollywood. If he didn't love basketball, he wouldn't have 4 rings with 4 finals MVPs, man.
I do agree with Yuki's comment back here that MLB should shorten their season.
Now that one is 100% factual. Baseball, I'm not gonna lie. Dude, I used to love baseball. Baseball's not the same anymore.
I love baseball, but baseball,
they don't have the same talent. Baseball, how NBA progressed, how the skills people got better. I don't think nobody got better in baseball. Only person I believe that could play in like the era that you grew up in is probably Mike Trout and a few others. But it's slim to none. Baseball back then is better now, and I think due to the rise of basketball and football, they're in a different. And soccer is coming bigger in baseball. Those are coming to different.
Not just that. You know what it is? It's the path to get into Major League Baseball is so fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, you got double.
You might have to play in the minors for 4 or 5 years and not make no money. Have to work a damn second job to even survive before you even make it to the pros.
Yeah, so you got
these guys go to other places where they can be making that millions real quick. That to me, that was the main reason Kyler Murray went and played football instead of going to athletics because he could have had to go to the minors for a couple years. Yeah, he would have got that $2 million signing bonus because he was getting signed so high. So he'd had some money, but he'd go to the NFL and have a whole lot of more money right then.
He made a business and he said, "Why would I can be a quarterback in the NFL and make 20 million? I could probably make 17 million a year."
If baseball would change their minor league system, I think you start seeing baseball grow again.
I honestly think baseball got too much of a minor league. Like they got.
That's what I mean. They need to change it. You don't need three or four levels of minor league.
I think it should be like the NBA D League
and pay your minor league players more, and you'll see baseball start growing again.
Yeah, baseball just needs to change their stipulations. It's people they think baseball. Like I think
you don't need A ball, double A ball, triple A ball.
Also, the thing replacing like the NBA and NFL, they're getting new people inside their organizations and their company to change stuff. Baseball, you can't lie. It's the same old dudes from the 80s and 90s that's still trying to protect what they call it, the integrity of the sport.
Well, another thing about baseball, it's changed where now nobody plays small ball anymore. So if you go to a game, you're either going to see a strikeout or a home run.
Yeah, that's true. You don't see.
I
hate that.
It's not the fun to watch when you see stolen bases and bunts and people are, you know, what I mean, people are hitting.
Baseball's not strategy anymore. I believe. I don't believe it's a strategy game.
No, it's all about analytics and trying to hit home runs, and it's changed the game for the wrong way. And the other thing is they don't market their players worth a fuck.
Only player they market is Mike Trout, and it's because Mike Trout is the best player in baseball. And it's because he's that good.
Dude, like 80% of baseball players, you could walk right by you in public, and most people wouldn't know who they are.
Amen. I agree. You gotta be a diehard fan. Like I remember growing up, you seen dudes talk about the Reds, the Yankees. Like baseball was big in the early 2000s.
Yeah, when you had the Griffeys, and the Bonds.
Rivera, the best closer ever. You had the Derek Jeters, the Alex Rodriguez, the Albert Pujols, Robertson Canoes. You had
Ozzie Smith and Barry Larkin,
Joe Mar. You had Ichiro Suzuki. You had players like dudes could relate to.
That everybody knew. Now you don't have players like that everybody knows anymore. Maybe
only person like literally, I've talked to people. I asked people, "What's name 3 like 4 or 5 baseball players?" They don't make a name. Mike Trout is a one.
Maybe
everybody know Albert Pujols. Yeah, they know Bryce Harper. They know Stanton. They know Aaron Judge because he plays for the Yankees. Like they know, but if you ask them like other people, like I'm not gonna lie. I can't name nobody on the Minnesota Twins. Back then, Minnesota Twins were terrible, but I can name people on there.
Yeah. Oh, I used to be able to name players on almost like all the teams now.
Yes, now I can't.
Now I can't.
Like football and basketball, you can do that now. I think baseball was so stuck up because baseball was so big in before the other generations, and basketball and football, they became bigger. Baseball always been bigger than them, and I think baseball just stayed with their strategy. They're like, I don't think we should change them. We were bigger than them for the longest. Now football and basketball has taken over. Football's taken over internationally now. Like they're going international. And basketball, besides soccer, I believe is the most the most global sport in the world. And now since Jordan and LeBron and everybody in these brands, all these shoes, all these deals, like basketball's on a whole different level now. Baseball needs to. I don't think sports need to cancel the All-Star. I think some All-Star games need. I believe NFL Pro Bowl needs to be gone. Baseball, I think it should just be like a skills week for the Pro Bowl and NFL, like how they do the skills challenges back in the day. I think it should have that. NBA All-Star. I think NBA should just change their All-Star. I think more people be interested, like if they do like a one-on-one All-Star game. I'm like All-Star matchup, like an All-Star weekend, like players that will play one-on-one against each other, like get some stars. Like for example, remember Horse when they had an All-Star weekend?
Yeah,
people used to actually watch that. I think they should do. Now, baseball, I always think the home run derby.
They need to get some of the stars to be in the dunk contest.
And that's the only thing with basketball. If they can put their stars in dunk contest, because they're all in the 3-point. All stars are in the 3-point contest. I think there's stars in dunk contests. I think the Pro Bowl in NFL, Pro Bowl just done. I think the Pro Bowl.
As a kid, getting to see like Michael Jordan and them guys in the dunk contest, that was all. You know, what I mean, that was something you always look forward to. Now you don't get to see none of the big stars in it no more
because they're more worried about their brand.
Yeah,
so I think a lot of the stars nowadays are more worried about their brand more than they're like, do I really want to be considered a dunker? We got to realize we're at the point now. I look at basketball. I hate,
but it didn't. It really didn't destroy. It didn't destroy Vince Carter's brand. That was really what made him.
But Vince Carter's different. He was an in-game, like back then. Also,
he was an in-game dunker too. Don't get me wrong.
Back then, the game changed
a
lot. Now people don't utilize the mid-range. It's honestly now it's a pick and pop the three, or you're gonna go on the inside and attack the basket. They don't use the mid-range. They don't use the free throw line. They don't use play. They don't use a lot of plays. They don't do the low screen. You have somebody come out, they run, hit the mid-range. You don't have plays anymore. They don't just sit here and play. A lot of basketball now is ISO and it's 3 layup and dunk. That's it. They don't put no floaters in their game. It's based on just they're losing skill. And I think that's what sucks. Like basketball, I think a lot of sports have changed, but basketball's changed. And Steph Curry changed it a lot. And I think he changed it for the better. But I think NHL is actually good at where they're at. Baseball is the only thing I think should change there.
With NHL, if they do anything, I wouldn't shorten it because it's not real long. But I think I like how it is.
I think it's entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. At first, the most entertaining thing, I've been to football game, basketball games. I need to go to a Braves game. I still need to do that. I've been to baseball games before, but I think the most interesting sports event I've ever been to is a hockey game. Hockey games are the most interesting to go to, in my opinion. Hockey games are more interesting. Hockey games are way more interesting than some.
See, and hockey's a sport I love going and watching live, but it's hard.
I can't watch on TV. Like live, the energy is great live. The energy is better than it is on the basketball court or in football. Because most of the time when you're at a hockey event, they're diehard hockey fans.
Oh yeah, and there's always something going on at a hockey game. There's always something going on. But it's harder to watch on TV. Like I don't watch much. I watch the playoffs. I've been watching a lot of this year's playoffs on TV. But it's harder to watch it on TV than it is, and going live is just awesome.
I agree. I love going to hockey events. Hockey events is very great.
I've never been to an NHL hockey game.
Either. I haven't been to NHL either. I've been to like town hockey events.
I've been to minor league. We have a minor league team here in Indianapolis, and I'll go there. We go there probably 2 or 3 times a season and go watch them play. But the atmosphere there is just awesome. So I couldn't imagine going to like a big NHL game. It'd be even be crazier.
That's how I feel about the MLB. I've never been to an MLB game. And honestly, I've never been to. I always want to go watch the Braves play because
I go to about 2 or 3 Cincinnati Reds games a season. Try to. Last year I only made 1, but the year before I went to 2. I'm hoping to go to a couple this year.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I talk, that's one fan base that they have diehard fans. The Cincinnati Reds.
We're starting to play better. Trying to dig ourselves out of that early hole, but I don't think our pitching's good enough.
How do you feel about Pete Rose not being in the Hall of Fame?
I think it's bullshit.
I do too. I do too.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. I have a Pete Rose tattoo on my leg.
I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. I understand gambling.
He's my favorite player of all time. And I got the Cincinnati red leg guy on the other side of my leg, on the same leg. It's going to be like a whole half sleeve once I get it all finished. But yeah,
I think gambling was bad for the sport, integrity sport. But I'm just like, he never took any he never took any steroid. He never did anything to
Hall of Fame.
Strengthen
what you did on the field.
Facts. I'm not gonna lie. I don't approve everything he say. People look at me like this. I'm not the strongest person what he says. But I also think a dude also should be in Hall of Fame is Kurt Schilling. I don't agree with everything he says. I think Kurt Schilling's a terrible human being. But
what did he do on the baseball field?
He was one of the best playoff pitchers of all time. I think Barry Bonds, due to the fact I know he did steroids, but before he did steroids, he should.
He's already a Hall of Famer before that.
Roger Clemens was a borderline Hall of Famer. I get like the Sammy Sosa's, and because Sammy Sosa wasn't.
Yeah,
he was.
Sammy Sosa wasn't as a big. He wasn't. I wouldn't call him like the automatic Hall of Famers like I would have called Bonds and them guys.
Yeah, Bonds was won MVP 3 times, Golden Gloves.
Yeah, he had 2 Hall of Fame careers.
Yes, like I get when he did steroids, he just took it to a whole different level.
I mean, Pete Rose was the all-time hit leader, and he's not in the Hall of Fame.
I'm like, they're saying there's not proof that he betted against the Reds. So I'm like, why is he not in the Hall of Fame? It's the fact that you guys just.
And he's always been my favorite player, and it was because of the way he played on the field.
I think
he was 110%, 100% of the time. I love that Charlie Hustle, like they called him. He was everywhere. He was just fun to watch. I loved when I was a kid, that's who I wanted to play like,
Like that's why I understand. Like that's also that's the hardest sport to get in the Hall of Fame. Though, I'm not gonna lie. Baseball Hall of Fame was the hardest to get into.
To me, the Baseball Hall of Fame is a joke now. After not letting Bonds and them guys in, and it's pretty much a joke to me now because you can't tell the history of the game
without Barry Bonds,
without Pete Rose, without
Kirk Schilling, Robert Clemens.
The game.
And I'm not gonna lie,
you can't just cut part of your history out of the game, and that's what they're trying to do.
And you want me to be honest with you. I understand the steroid era, and the steroid era is if I'm gonna be 100%,
I'll tell you this:
era saved baseball.
Anybody involved in the steroid era shouldn't be kept out of the Hall of Fame because baseball knew what was going on and was encouraging.
No, they saved baseball
because it was helping baseball grow.
Yeah, the 1998 season saved baseball.
And so baseball didn't say nothing about it until they were forced to, and then they tried to demonize these guys. They knew it was going on, but they were using it to their advantage because they were growing.
Like so, I honestly think I'm saying, and this is how I feel. There's a lot of players that's using performance enhancement drugs. Not everybody turns to that level. It still takes hard work. You being in that gym and you training all the time for you to get there. I know personally I can't just juice up and next thing you know I start running 4.3. Like there's no way. You have to train for that. That's how I feel about it. Like they're saying it's an advantage, but also you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's like the advantage. Like I understand it gives you an advantage, but you still got to train and work for it. You don't see dudes that just sit here, they shoot up, and next thing you know, they just sit down for a little while and not train.
I'll tell you one player from that era that I don't ever think took anything was Ken Griffey Jr.
No, Ken Griffey Jr. I know you could tell by his body and how his body looked when he got older. He didn't juice up though.
And if he wouldn't got hurt, man, just think of the numbers he would have put up. He put up great numbers as it was, and he missed a lot of time due to injuries.
He was one of the best players in the juiced era, and he was not even on steroids. That's the thing that gets me with Ken Griffey. I'm still mad he wasn't 100%. I'm still mad they didn't give him 100% in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, who is the guy that said he's not he's not a Hall of Famer? Here's a few guys. Like, did Derek Jeter get 100%? There's a few guys I'm like for example, Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez, I think, should have been in the Hall of Fame. But also, him not in the Hall of Fame, he's a guy that a lot of people in baseball doesn't like. I think he's probably the most hated baseball player to ever play.
No, Robinson.
Yeah, Jack Robinson in the Hall of Fame, how he did the game. He also won MVP.
Yeah, he got voted in the Hall of Fame in 1962.
Yeah, there's a few.
I can relate. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's not in the Hall of Fame. But I also think the NFL Hall of Fame is a joke too, because NFL is basically how their feelings.
Well, how they treated T.O. I thought was bullshit.
I think there's a lot of players I think should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, honestly, think Reggie Wayne's a Hall of Famer. Don't know why he's not in there. Marvin Harrison should have been a first ballot. Also, I think there's some players that's in there, and the only reason they're in there is due to championships. And there's players that a lot of people like. So I like to bite my tongue. Like, for example, I know people like the Cowboys in the 90s.
Exactly. I agree.
Jackie Robinson, they do impact a lot. Impact is a lot to some sports. Why do you think Bill Walton's in the basketball hall?
But you know what the bad thing is? Pete Rose will get in the Hall of Fame, and I've been saying this for years.
He'll get in the Hall of Fame when he's dead.
Yeah, the year that he passes away, they'll
the
induct him into the Hall of Fame, and that's bullshit. But they will. They just aren't going to give him the satisfaction of being there when he gets inducted, and that's bullshit. I honestly believe that he'll be the year he passes away, he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, these are players that's not in the Hall of Fame. You have Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Kurt Schilling. We talked about Pete Rose, Rafael Palmeiro. I also think he's a Hall of Famer. I give him Sammy Sosa, Bobby Greach, Mark McGuire. Everybody know about Manny Ramirez. And that's about it. Now I believe should be in, but a lot of them were juiced up. Jose Canseco ruined that for a lot of people. Ruined it for a lot of people.
Yeah, Canseco. He told on everybody.
That's the thing. Yeah, that book was wild. I'm not gonna lie. But NFL, there's who's the best player you think that's not in the Hall of Fame though?
In the NFL? Ooh.
Because obviously, I think my opinion, like when people talk about, I think Matt Ryan is a Hall of Famer?
That was just a question from Gridiron. Do you think Matt Ryan is a Hall of Famer?
He's borderline. I think if he gets a ring, he is. His numbers speak for himself. Like Matt Stafford, I think he was borderline too. They numbers speak for itself. If they get the championship, yes. Oh yeah, they're doing the same thing. No, how they're going to do like T.O. with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown did worse antics than T.O. T.O. never just quit in the middle of a game. Antonio Brown quit. they're gonna make examples.
I'm taking my ball going home. Just left.
Yeah, Antonio Brown, they're gonna make that. He's gonna get in after his 5th or 6th try, which sucks because in our generation, Antonio Brown is one of the best players.
What is it? You get 5 years in it that you get that you're on the ballot?
It's like after 5 years of you retiring, yeah, you're on the ballot. Antonio Brown,
you're only on the ballot for so many years as well, right?
No, NFL, I think it's like after 20 years, you become in that legacy ballot. Like baseball, it's like
baseball, you only have
a certain amount of times you have to get elected, and if you don't make it, you're not in basketball. Basketball's simple. You just got to be good. People don't realize it's the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. They don't have an NBA Basketball Hall of Fame, which I think they should invest in. But it's like, I went to the College Football Hall of Fame for the first time here in a while. It's amazing. It's amazing. I think anybody that comes to Atlanta and you're a sports guy, go to the College Football Hall of Fame. But what about OBJ? OBJ, no, he hasn't played long enough and he got hurt. There's dudes out here, like my generation, like, for example, I think LeSean McCoy is a Hall of Famer due to the fact he was a top 3 or 4 running back in the 2010s.
I agree with when you said Marvin Harrison. He should be in.
Marvin Harrison's in, but he wasn't the first ballot. Remember, he was like 2nd or 3rd.
He should have been first ballot.
Marvin Harrison's a top 10 receiver to ever play.
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne should be in the Hall of Fame.
He was my second favorite player on that Colts team. Him and Harrison were my two.
But it's hard for receivers to get in.
Peyton and Harrison were my favorite two.
Yeah, I think it's hard for receivers again. I think like Shady McCoy. I'm a firm believer if you're the best player in your franchise, you're a Hall of Famer. That's me. If you're the best player, I get Hall of Fame like transcendent, but if you're the best player in franchise, like for example, the best player in Jacksonville is arguably Fred Taylor. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Atlanta's best player ever in their franchise is Julio Jones, but their best quarterback is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's borderline. If you ask me, I'm a diehard Chargers fan, so I'm going to say Philip Rivers is going to the Hall of Fame.
I think Rivers will get in.
Yeah, I don't think first ballot, and I'm logical, but I think due to the fact he's top 10 in everything quarterback related, and he was playing in a league where also at the time in 2004, it was majority running. until the end of his career. That's when they start throwing.
Well, and my thing with him, he's one of the top. He's like you said in the top 10 in all the numbers, and he played in the same area as Brady and Manning.
People don't realize. I'll tell people it's like Phil Brown won us. I say you gotta realize with us, bro. We were in the era where the AFC legit dominated the whole NFL. Like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, the Ravens, Big Ben Roethlisberger. If you wasn't them four, you was not winning anything in the AFC.
Yeah, and then that's what I mean. And for Rivers to do what he did in that era, I mean, to me, he's a Hall of Famer.
And literally the only guy, this is why I hate Tom Brady, but I respect him. The only guy he literally lost to every year was Tom Brady. I can't knock him.
Chargers always gave the Colts trouble.
Yeah, the Colts. The Colts was the team that we always had their number for some reason. We never knew why. It was just Peyton Manning just had a bad time playing against us. Tom Brady was legit our only weakness. Like we cannot, and I can't.
Believe me, I hated the Chargers because of it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about New England. Like literally, New England.
I hated New England.
People ask me about moments like growing up. They said, "What is your worst sports moments?" I literally can name. I say the 2006 AFC divisional round against New England. I say the 2007 AFC championship against New England. The 2014 NFC divisional round against New England. A lot of we said Watson ain't even close to a Hall of Fame quarterback. I agree. I agree.
I don't know if Watson's ever going to play in the NFL again.
Oh, no. 17 months. You got 60 allegations. I know a lot of people saying, I think they're just finding stuff and I think they're doing stuff. But honestly, at this point now, I love Deshaun Watson. I loved him as a quarterback, how he played. But 66 people is a lot of people.
Yeah, you have new
66 people is not lying. I personally don't believe 66 people are lying. 24 people that's a civil law case is not lying. I understand they can't get him, but honestly, how this looks, even if Deshaun Watson never play again, I don't think the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
for him. I think like his reputation is tarnished. He will never be the same again afterwards. Because
like at the beginning, it's like, man, I'm gonna wait till everything comes out but now it's like, man, dude,
they're bringing more stuff.
They just keep bringing more and more, and it's just making it harder to believe that something didn't happen.
Because I'm like, because I'm at first in the beginning, I'm like 20. I'm like, all right, it was after the Texans said, it was literally after the Texans. He'd say he didn't want to be in with Texans anymore. Like next week after that, Deshaun Watson had civil law cases, a sexual assault with his therapist. Then it started getting more and more and more. And then when he beat it, he can't get charged criminally. I'm like, okay, so they're gonna let him play. I think if he's not getting charged criminally, I think they should let him play. That's personally me. But if he's getting civil, but they bring in all these documents, my question is, if they can sue him civilly and he gets acquitted from it, what happened criminally and why?
Yeah.
I think this Deshaun Watson situation, it's somebody lying. It's the lawyers, the women organization, some of them, the Texas organization, or it's him. Somebody, like, only people that know the truth is them. And it's going to be hard. All I know is this ruined Deshaun Watson because 24 women is a lot. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, saying then that report coming out saying there was like 66
women in 17 months in New York Times. Do you think you think he's not playing this season?
I don't know. At first, I thought he'd get suspended 6 games, but with this,
I don't think he's been suspended though. I think he missed the whole season last year. Texans suspended him for the whole season. They paid him, which I understand they paid him, but I think they was gonna let him play because he missed the whole season. But if they did suspend him, I agree with you. I think it was going to be 6 games. I don't think it was been a whole season. I think it was going to send him for 6 games, and he would have came back. And then next year, then the Browns would hit the ground running. But
now with more stuff coming out, I don't know what the NFL is going to do.
I think they're probably going to do it indefinitely.
Oh, shit.
More than likely. How they did Justin Blackman, I think they're going to do it indefinitely because this is a large number. I get it, feel like 3 or 4. It's 24. Chris. They said Ray Lewis killed someone. He's in the Hall of Fame. Allegedly. Deshaun Watson is allegedly also, but they're bringing some up. There's players. No, I'm not saying Hall of Fame. I agree, Damian. Like his career, like how people look at him is over. Like sponsorships, brands. Dang, 2 to 3 years. Dang, I ain't never seen that one before. Most of the time, I think they're gonna get him indefinitely. He's gonna get the indefinitely mark. I think he's gonna be spending indefinitely, and if he doesn't get this fixed right away for the preseason, he's not playing. It's not even because of suspension. It's gonna be because it's gonna be so bad. I think the minute that he plays is gonna be so bad, like fan base wise. Like he legit has to be. I hope he's mentally tough on how they're gonna handle it, how he's gonna handle this, because they're gonna kill him in away games.
Yeah,
they're gonna kill him. That's the thing I'm worried about. They're gonna the fans are gonna kill him.
Oh yeah, there'll be fans outside the arena when they show up and stuff with signs. Right?
Signs. They're gonna say probably in the middle of the games. He's probably gonna hear it from players while he's playing. It's gonna be rough for Deshaun Watson. I pray he didn't do this. He's innocent, and I hope he bounced back because I don't wish negativity on nobody. But dang, man, it
doesn't look good.
It doesn't. Like, this is terrible. Like, you gotta realize, like, for example, I've seen a lot of people care. Remember when Big Ben had his cases?
Yep.
Everybody talk about Big Ben and his Hall of Fame career. He had a Super Bowl, then people don't talk about that. They don't talk about Big Ben's career. There's people that still talk about Big Ben the rapist.
Yep, there is.
It's like, in Deshaun Watson is 24 people. Big Ben was 2. And Big Ben, they still talk about him as a rapist. And people still hold him to that. What you think you're going to do with Deshaun Watson?
Hell, there were still people that would bring up Kobe stuff.
Yeah. And people that, like, Kobe, like, there's people that brought up Kobe, like, they don't think, like, now we're in the age now that the play doesn't even matter. The play can matter, but it's all about how are you, now the media brings up how are you as a character, as a human being.
Yeah.
How they feel. Like, you got to realize everybody's human, so they're going to go by likes and dislikes. So Deshaun Watson, like, I think his career is, like, as a likable guy, as the guy everybody wants to win, I think he's turned into that villain role, and to that his career is done. He will never be the same again. I'm not going to say the same player. I think he's not, as a human being wise, and how his reputation is in the league, it will never be the same again. And I think, for example, I think there's probably Browns fans are skeptical. But I bet you there's Browns players that they're like, you got Deshaun Watson after all this stuff, and you give him the highest guaranteed contract in NFL history.
Yeah.
He gets $230 million. Like, he signed it and he gets it.
Yep, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with all of it. That's for sure.
I don't know. I think Cleveland messed it up.
Well, yeah. Now Cleveland's going to be screwed because you done ruined your relationship with Baker.
Yeah, Baker's done. Baker's like, you literally went and you got somebody else instead of me. So Baker's done. Baker's gonna go somewhere else. I think that's a big reason why he hasn't traded Baker yet.
Yeah, I do too.
Because Cleveland don't have a back. I get they have. I think they got Jacoby Brissett and Joshua Dobbs, but they're still not better than Baker. They don't have nobody to replace Baker. And they know Deshaun Watson. That's why I think Deshaun Watson's not playing, and they haven't released him yet. If Deshaun Watson could play, I'm pretty sure they would have released Baker. But they're like, Baker, they're probably thinking, and we need Baker. But Baker probably is like, I'd rather sit out than play. Y'all didn't let me know that y'all was getting a quarterback.
Yeah.
They ruined it with Baker, so the rapport sucks. And now, I think that's why Atlanta didn't get him. I think that's why Carolina got out the deal. Same thing with New Orleans. Like, he's not going to be win now. And I also don't think Cleveland. Miami looks like the good guys.
The Dolphins are pointing and laughing at the Browns because think about it. They would have been in the same situation if Brian Flores was still there and they snatched Watson. Yeah, Miami. You're talking about that yesterday. Miami dodged a bullet because they dodged a bullet, right? Because if they'd have got Watson, they'd be in that. Look what situation they'd be in.
But Flores, I don't think it was a Deshaun Watson thing too. But I think the biggest problem with the Flores situation is Flores wanted to get Justin Herbert.
Yeah, he didn't want to draft Tua to begin with.
I thank God that they drafted Tua. I thank God for them for drafting Tua because we got Justin Herbert, and I think we're going to do pretty fine for the next 10 to 15 years. So thank you, Miami. I give a shout out to Miami Dolphins every time for Justin Herbert.
I swear, man, the Cincinnati Reds are so hard to watch.
I think I felt about my Chargers for a lot of years.
We get a lead, and then somehow every time we put our damn relievers in, it just goes to hell.
I ain't gonna lie. Am I the only one that don't believe pitching is not as good as it once was? It's
not. I agree.
I don't see any besides. There's good pitchers.
You might have some guys that throw a little harder, but it don't matter if you throw harder if you throw right down the middle. You don't have the guys like you did the Maddoxes and the guys that could control. Had the pinpoint accuracy that could pitch up the whole plate.
I don't think they're creative.
Outside the plate.
I think it's literally just a fastball, a curveball, and that's it. They don't throw sliders for real, knuckleballs. They're not creative as much pitching. I think the only person like that could play like the era in the 90s as a pitcher, I'll say Madison Bumgarner due to the fact that he's a closer.
Yeah.
You have Max, and then you have Clayton Kershaw. Those are the only three. Pitching got. I think baseball as a sport just got watered down. That's the biggest reason.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's get to our final thoughts for the day, and then will you be back? Will you be on tomorrow too, Deontay?
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow.
All right, I think Greg will be back tomorrow, so we'll be. You got any final thoughts?
So. I'm telling y'all what I told y'all about Boston. Yep, last night I told you how I was going to do. I'm telling you, Boston is 6. Golden State, they're gonna put it out Steph Curry, and hopefully, I wish it goes to 7 because I love a good series. But Boston is 6.
I'm gonna stick with my Golden State in 6, even though now I think if Golden State wins, it'd be in 7. But I'm staying with my original prediction. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and we will see you guys tomorrow on another episode of the ASAP Afternoon Blitz.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. Offensification, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.